Hey Trekkies, Dan Gunther here once again with another Week in Trek. Apologies for missing last week's episode. I've been sick with a bit of a cold lately. I'm over the worst of it now, thankfully, and ready to bring you all the news from Star Trek in the past couple of weeks. A couple of weeks ago, I did a review of the big 50th anniversary Star Trek Blu-ray box set containing the original series, the classic films, and the animated series. Now, the only new release in that series was the animated series on Blu-ray. A lot of people have been wondering if there's another way to get that animated Blu-ray series in high definition without having to pay the large price for the entire set. Now we have confirmation that that will indeed be possible. On November 15th in North America, CBS will be releasing a standalone set of Star Trek the Animated Series on Blu-ray. Now, like the discs in the 50th anniversary set, this does not come with any new special features that weren't already available on the DVD release. However, all of the episodes of the animated series have been remastered in high definition. If you don't wish to shell out the large price for the 50th anniversary set, this is a really great way to get the animated series in high def. As I mentioned, it will be released on November 15th in North America and November 28th in the UK. Speaking of Blu-rays, the details of the Star Trek Beyond Blu-ray sets have now been released. The film is set for home release on November the 1st and will come bundled in a number of different sets. It will be available on DVD, Blu-ray, 4K Ultra HD, and 3D Blu-rays. Click the link in the description for a really good summary of the various releases from trekcore.com. It will also be available as a combo pack bundled with Star Trek 2009 and Star Trek Into Darkness. My personal favorite is this Ultimate Edition here that comes bundled with a really cool USS Franklin model. There's an interesting topic currently trending online. It's an attempt by a number of Star Trek personalities to bring the fictional world of Star Trek into the real world of politics. Trek Against Trump is currently exploding all over the internet. This is a movement started by a number of Star Trek actors and people behind the scenes on various Star Trek projects. For an accounting of the history of this movement, check out Larry Nemecek's blog post about Trek Against Trump, which I have linked in the description below. Supporters of the cause include actors, producers, authors, all kinds of people from behind the scenes and from in front of the camera from Star Trek over the years, and more people are adding their names to the list all the time. If you'd like to learn more, you can find them on facebook.com/TrekAgainstTrumpOfficial. They're also on Twitter at TrekNotTrump. In book news this week, the first book of an epic new trilogy has just been released. September 27th saw the release of Prey Book 1 Hell's Heart by John Jackson Miller. This generation-spanning trilogy features a Klingon plot, a century in the making. Check it out at your local bookstore or wherever you get your ebooks. On the Literary Treks podcast, we have a couple of recent episodes. Literary Treks 162, The Lukewarm War, in which Matthew Rushing, Bruce Gibson, and I discuss the Romulan War to Brave the Storm by Michael A. Martin. In the news segment of this episode, we also briefly talk to author John Jackson Miller about his Prey trilogy. And just this last week, we have Literary Treks 163, Pinochle Buddies, an interview with Dayton Ward regarding his and Kevin Dillmore's most recent book, Legacies, Book 3, Purgatory's Key, closing out the epic Star Trek The Original Series 50th Anniversary Trilogy. Thank you so much for watching this week's video. Links to all of the stories I've mentioned can be found in the description below. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and please leave a comment. We would love to hear from you about any of the stories I talked about this week. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you again next week.